Hello, everyone. Janine Devine here with Black Girl Marvel, and we are taking over the Let Us In podcast.
That we are.
Yes. So, what are we talking about today, La?
Well, it seems on the docket we have some scary movie. The first one that came out in what 2000? I think it was 2000. It came out.
Yeah.
We're talking about that scary movie, the classic, the OG scary movie. Yes.
I think we'll also pepper in some Black horror talk in general as well.
Maybe some Final Girls, something like that. We'll sprinkle some other stuff in there.
Yes. What's your history with horror, La? Like, are you a horror fan?
Well, I'm gonna say yeah.
For the purposes of being on a horror podcast.
The purpose of being on Let Us In podcast, No, but it's like I won't say it's like the genre that I run to.
Yeah.
But it's a genre that I enjoy when it's done correctly. And sometimes when it's done wrong, I'm still kind of there for
and fun.
Exactly. I'm still kind of there for it. So I do like my horror. I will say I need to do a deeper dive.
Okay.
Yeah. A deeper
if you need some guides, the Let Us In ladies will definitely help you.
I already know.
Help you as well.
Yeah.
So I think
what's your history? What's your
I watched A Nightmare on Elm Street when I was about 8 because my sister had a sleepover with her friend and I wanted to be cool and stay up with them and watch this movie, but I was terrified. So I went to bed having nightmares. I couldn't eat pizza for months because it reminded me of Freddy Krueger's face. So I took a step back from horror, but I remember just being incredibly intrigued by that character. I thought it was like such a smart character, like a villain that can get you while you're asleep. Like that is crazy. So I remember like thinking about it and being intrigued by it, being intrigued by horror, but I just wasn't quite ready to delve into it. I was too scared. So it wouldn't be until I think it was my 13th or 14th birthday party where I watched Scream for the first time. And teen horror was where it was at for me.
Yeah, you were like,
I was a fan. Yes.
This is where I stay.
So then I absorbed all the teen horrors. I know what you did last summer's the urban legends, all of that kind of stuff. So Final Destination.
I never really watched Urban Legends.
It's so good.
I probably should add that to my list of like horror films to watch because I grew up watching like Nightmare on Elm Street. It's actually my favorite like series of like horror films, like all of like each and every one of them. I love each and every one of them. I think Chucky is kind of up there as well because I had like a dream as a child that Chucky murdered my family.
Oh God.
And no, it was an amalgamation of like the Chucky character and like what is
My
it?
Buddy, one of those My Buddy dolls.
Tales from the Hood.
Oh yeah, those creepy little
so those creepy little poppets, like those little dolls.
Yeah. Oh my God.
So it was a mixture of like Chucky haunting me, and then the poppets from that murdering my family. So I had like a very vivid dream of that as a kid, and I was like, okay, so I watched more. Like I used to watch The Omen as a child, like the original Omen, stuff like that. So it was just, I think it's always been in my life. It's just not something that I was just like, this new horror movie's coming out. If it popped up in front of me, I watched it. So
yeah. So Wes was kind of my bookends from Elm Street and then Scream, and then that kind of opened the floodgates. And so once I got teen horror, then I kind of delved into other avenues of horror and really just kind of fell in love with the genre. So
like, Nightmare on Elm Street was too much, too fast.
A little bit. And then, ready.
But seeing Drew Barrymore like strung up and bowelless, just
it did it for me.
It did it. It just knocked it out of the park.
I just felt like it was so smart. Like that opening was so chilling. Everything was necessary. Everything made sense. Like you could watch that film so many different ways and no, okay, I can tell when the killer was Billy. I can tell when the killer was Stu. I can tell what was happening in this. I can tell why they did kill this person, why this killing was necessary. Their motive made sense. Like all of it just fit together so well.
And
the writing was snappy and funny.
In the mind of like teenagers, right? Like I know everybody in that was like in their 20s, like let's call it space, almost in their 30s. But like it still made sense in the context of like teenagers. It still makes context in the teenagers to be like, I didn't get sex, so everybody dies. Like I'm tired of this. Like, I'm tired of this. You set my mom up. It's such like layered, like temper tantrums that go to the extreme.
Yeah, because you have to think they're still kids. That's why he's having this very childish reaction to my mommy. You made my mommy.
My mommy. You made my mommy. Oh my god! Like, okay, you died. Like,
yeah. I get process my emotions because my mommy let me.
Exactly. I'm mad at you. It's very like, why did you say that name? It's very like, why did you say that
very
name?
juvenile, but it works and it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Great Absolutely. Performances from the actors. I think up to that point, we weren't getting characters really acknowledging that they were aware of what happens in horror films or even acknowledging other horror films within their horror film. Yeah. So all of that, just really smart, a great team up with Kevin and Wes. Absolutely love that film. And so,
honestly, Scream kind of felt like Dawson's Creek, but with some edge, like
right?
It felt like Dawson's Creek with edge.
Well, I mean, Kevin Williamson. I mean, he yes.
So it kind of makes sense that like it would not make sense.
He would go on to create that show.
Yeah, it just makes it funny that he would like kind of go on to create that show, and then makes it funny that like to bring it back around that James Van Der Beek does appear in Scary Movie.
Because I was a huge Dawson's Creek fan. I mean, look, I got my
same.
The binder, the Dawson's Creek that I made in high school. So when he popped in that cameo, like, oh, wrong set, I was music, dying.
Set, I'm like,
so good.
I said Dawson did not just pop up in this film. Like,
yes, and great that like I think why I love Scary Movie so much is because like Scream and all the teen horrors are like heavily referenced in that film. And me as somebody, like, I'm sure you were the same way, like constantly just, you know, as somebody, as a kid falling in love with movies, you were looking for representation. You were looking for people who looked like you to say, I could be a part of this story. I could be a part of this really cool world. I could do these totally cool things too.
Right.
Yes. So in seeing Scary Movie and seeing this Black horror film, you know, highlight Black characters in a comedic way, but just so funny little in jokes that, you know, you can look at your Black friend and wink at, like, you know, when like all these people are dying and the news outlets are reporting on it, and you know, here with Black TV, get out of here. Black people are dying. We gotta get them out of here.
I think that might have been like one of the best moments in theater history for me personally. Is when that it comes first to like, you know, Cap picking up the hammer in Endgame. You know what I'm saying? Like raucous, crazy moments in my life in the theater. That moment when they all left, I said, oh yeah, we gotta get up out of here. Y'all know we the first ones to go.
Yes. And just the things that just speak to the culture, like Brenda in the movie with her takeout chicken wings, like eating in the theater with her hot sauce, yelling at the screen, but then also that being the spoof. That's the way. That's the way they spoof the Jada Pinkett in Scream 2. Like,
exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
So many moments like that. Yeah.
I love Scary Movie. I just feel like Scary Movie on like a film level is a fun watch, right? I feel like anybody, no matter your creed, no matter your, maybe I won't say creed, maybe, because there's some people very religious that probably won't get it. But I'm still say no matter your creed, your color, whatever. No. I feel like Scary Movie is a film that you can actually enjoy, especially if you can get the references as best as you can. You know what I mean? Yeah. But also it's a film that if you say you didn't get the references, it lends to research. You can like now dig deep into this film to see what didn't I get, and then maybe now you got a slew of movies that you can watch off of this one film because it references so much. So I feel like on one scale, no matter your race, you can get it. But I feel like on a scale of just being a Black person, it just hits heavy for us because there's so many like things of our culture that's threaded within this film. So shout out to the Wayans brothers. They did get an NAACP award, Image Award for just like
just their contributions to Black culture and entertainment.
Hollywood entertainment.
Yeah. Like I did a whole video talking about how, you know, we wouldn't have the Super Bowl without them and In Living Color. Yeah. So, you know, they are huge in terms of representation for us. And
absolutely.
I mean, I could definitely see how people could see like this as a very surface level spoof with kind of a lot of the jokes. But if you kind of dig into it, they like went deep with a lot of things. Like, for example, the principal is Principal Squiggins. That is like a whole ass like deep dive nod because Henry Winkler played Principal Henry in Scream. He was the Fonz in Happy Days. He's known for playing a greaser character. the actor who plays Principal Squigman, he was a Greaser character on Laverne and Shirley.
Laverne and Shirley,
so,
come on.
So the fact that they were like playing a parody of a parody of a thing with just their casting choice, like you had to see that there was like attention to detail. There was a lot of thought that went into to them really like studying these films and making fun in the way that they did. Yeah. So
I feel like the Wayans brothers have like not even at the Wayans family, I'll say the Wayans because it's all over them, the brothers, but I'm just so used to the TV show that I'm like the Wayans brothers, but I mean all of them. So like the Wayans family as a whole for me personally are just like they're smart writers. I can be honest about a lot of things. There are times where like the jokes are very like level, this very base level.
Yes, or even stereotype playing into like kind of ridiculous stereotypes. Yeah.
You know, and there are some jokes where I'm just like, that wasn't for us, but that was for some other people. And that's cool. I chuckle. It ain't all gotta be for me. Like but it's like I think they take their time when they write their scripts. I think they take their time and like their characters, because even with like not just Brenda, but with what's Anna Faris's character? I can never remember her character.
Cindy. Yeah.
Lord, I was like, I cannot remember her name to save my life. But like even with Cindy's character, she's like every character is well thought out. Every character has like a lot of meat to them. Like even Shorty, who is like a character that just kind of pops in and out.
He's like stoner character, but he's also kind of the Randy when he needs.
He's the Randy when he needs to be and stuff like that. So it's like he has like he has a purpose, and his purpose is honestly kind of like to be a light throughout the film in my book. Like, and I mean a light in the sense that like it gets kind of goofy and heavy, and then he comes in with like a joke that kind of just like like smoothes out, and then it's like okay, next to the next like parody or
the next part,
right. And so I think they write their characters just so like smart and like because like even like the jock played by Lachlan Monroe, which shout out to Lachlan Monroe,
right? Who was kind of meant to be he's meant to be like Barry, I think, and like I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Right? And so like his character is like such a typical like aggressive white male character in these films, because like think about it, throughout history there's always been like that aggressive jock white male in like high school movies, right? So they kind of like took that and then
amalgamation
of all these characters, and then you took like Buffy being like Buffy for one, like for one, like that name alone, you're talking about the Vampire Slayer. I know you are, because there's no other Buffy we think about if it's not the Vampire Slayer.
In that time,
exactly. And so like you got her, but she's the most popular girl, but she's also the most raunchy or crazy, like so you again like an amalgamation of like all these like mean girls that you see in films throughout the years, and this one person. It's just I just think it's smart writing and just great attention to detail.
I mean, even the namings, they tried to name them things that sounded similar to characters that were in those films, and they had to kind of put some thought into kind of making these characters an amalgamation of different characters in the same film, so that they could kind of do these different spoofs of these different films within the one thing. So like when we go into the whole I Know What You Did Last Summer sequence, and the whole scene where they throw the guy in the water and he's like basically beating up Sydney to like not say anything. And like Ryan Phillippe has this like aggressive reaction to Julie.
He's like, right, we're all not saying anything. Like he was aggressive in that movie.
And so the fact that he like dropped kickers and he drops wrestling moves on her,
and I love that like they pull out plot points too, like because like and I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, again, horror movie, we get it, it's supposed to have a serious tone even though it's a horror film, but the way that like the Wayans family kind of writes, it kind of like sets things up. It's like the guy was like, I'm good because nobody checked him.
No need to cover it up.
I'm fine. Because it's like, if maybe, and I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, it's like I Know What You Did Last Summer, maybe I Know What You Did Last Summer, maybe they could have checked him to see,
right? They didn't try very hard to check him.
I was just like, we hit him, he dead.
Like, they're making this whole plot to like cover up his murder. No need to do that. It was a little rough, I'm good. I just need to find mother's shoe and I'm good. And, and then it's like, but it's funny moments within it too, because one of my favorites is when she's like, we hit a boot. Like that's one of my favorite moments. We hit a boot. And like
she's amazing. She's a great.
Yes.
I think people like focus on her looks too much during like the 2000s, like 90s, 2000s, like mid 2000s, because she's hilarious. Elizabeth Shedden is hilarious.
Yeah,
she's so funny, and I'm just like,
yeah, she definitely could have done more instead of playing
way
like,
more.
you know, sexy exchange student taking off the top all the time kind of characters.
No, absolutely.
Because even in like her big kind of death scene when she's just like, it's basically like Tatum who's taunting the ghost face in the garage.
Yeah,
she's doing the same thing, and he's practically kills her, but she's still taunting him. Like
just toss her in the trash. Just toss her in the trash.
Yes.
Like, I don't know, it's just like little things where they kind of like open up the other movies that they spoof, right? They make you kind of like look at the other movies like, wait a second,
and make a whole story interconnecting like similar plot points, so they ease into each kind of spoof really well. They're interconnected really well.
Because that theater scene is so Scream 2, the beginning of the movie.
Yes,
with Omar Epps and Jada Pinkett, and it's just like the way Brenda died is so funny because the way Jada died in that film.
Yeah, and it's like the people in the theater are stabbing her because they're so annoyed because she's talking like
everybody had a knife. Everybody had a knife. Everyone is stabbing her. This is her ruining,
naming like other movies that she ruined for them. Right?
I'm just like, dang, Brenda. I think she had a full course meal. She had a
bottle of hot sauce.
She's like, oh girl, another girl is here. Shake a still.
To her friend on the phone.
It's so good. Everybody's just like, oh my god, like can somebody. And when that lady slit her throat, I was like, what are we playing in this film? Because she did it. She's like, your ass is grass. And she just like slit right. I was like, you know what? I enjoy it all. Thank you, Keenen Ivory Wayans, for starting this empire because
yes.
But I just need more from them, like, because Papa's House is hilarious. If you've ever seen that, I don't know if you've seen Papa's House.
I haven't.
So you might want to dive in. It's okay. It's good. Seeing them play off each other is like, it's kind of awesome to see father and son play off each other, even though they've been in like everything Junior has been in.
I'm doing like, you know, the Black Cinema Challenge, and I rewatched Blank Man, and the kid who plays a younger version of David Alan Grier's character, I'm like, that looks like Damon Jr. Yeah, it's Damon Jr. But it's like, it's funny, he didn't play his dad, he played David Alan Grier.
Yeah. I think Craig might be in that movie somewhere. One of the other ones is in that movie somewhere. And another, I said, listen, put him nepotism at its finest. To me, I think
because they work well together.
They work well together, right?
Yeah.
What do you mean? And it's like, because I watched a video on YouTube where Junior and Senior are like, because of the show, they've done like a lot of promotion together, and they were having a conversation about like things that they've done and been in together. So they were talking about My Wife and Kids, and talking about how Junior was how pretty much Senior pushed Junior to like be in the scene, and Junior was just like, oh, okay, gotta act again. I don't want to do this thing. And then he like Senior is like, well, when I watched him like do this one scene, I can see it in him that he knew he did something amazing. And then Junior was like, I felt like this is what it was all about, and I think that spurred him to be like, I need to do more. Okay. And it was on the set of like My Wife and Kids, because I think about Major Payne, because one of the boys, the one that be dancing, moving on out now, that's one of their nephews as well. I can't remember his name though, but that's one of his nephews as well. So I'm just like, they just been like in these films, learning and absorbing, and like, and now a lot of them are behind the scenes writing and directing. And I just,
but even kind of these brothers talking about in that speech, in the NAACP speech, talking about how they learned all this from Keenen and seeing him get out there and get big things and write, you know, Hollywood Shuffle with Robert Townsend, and you know, them seeing him on TV and them thinking like, oh, we're rich now, like, and him telling, you know, giving them some movie to watch, and then would come.
I love that.
After movie, then he would be like,
I think he'll get some. So, what you think of the movie, real quick, because once I head in, I'm not coming out. So what's up with the movie? But I think that's really cool. I think that's like, because it'll honestly show you who wants it, who doesn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if you didn't want it, you wouldn't watch it, you wouldn't report back. And look at the things that Marlon has created. Look at the things that Sean and Marlon have created together. Like Damon Jr. is out here creating things. Shantae is a stand-up comedian that tours and does these things. So I just, and everybody's writing. Pretty much the whole cast of like the whole behind the scenes on Papa's House is the Wayans, because Kim writes on that, and I think Craig directs.
They always talk about Kim as like the funniest person in the family.
Oh yeah, they all say Kim is the funniest, and I said, we know, we knew, but I also love that she's a person who decided to. She was like, I don't want to make fun of people anymore. I don't want to make fun of people, but I do want to make people laugh.
Yes, I want to make fun of my family.
I want to make fun of family, but I don't want to I don't want to. And I like that she took a step back in a way that she like, I don't have to be on camera to make a contribution.
Yeah, so I can still bring my funny and
right
from behind
in a different. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, I definitely want to check it out, because even when I just saw them doing the promotion, like they were just really funny together. Yeah,
it's I will say it skews to the corny side of what they do as the Wayans family, but it's still really good. It's still fun. It's still really good. But you can tell the improv moments, because you can see Damon like Senior break sometimes in like episodes. Like it feels like kind of like Martin in that sense. You know how Martin is always break and stuff. But I say give it a go. You know, I know kind of skewed, but it's still Wayne. So
yes. No, I'll definitely check it out. But yeah, no, they definitely did it up with this one. It's full of obviously some fun spoofy sequences. What would you say is like one of your favorite in the movie?
That's a big question. The silence for a second.
Maybe in terms of like it spoofed its thing the best. Like
I mean, for me, like the film is based in in Scream is based like
probably the biggest.
Is Scream, and that's somebody that like in the 90s watched Scream. Like I did watch it a lot. To see them kind of put their take on like what could be like a stupid trope thingy of like, because like I think the beginning scene of Scream is so iconic.
Yes,
the beginning scene of Scary Movie
that is my answer. Iconic. Yes, the Carmen Electra opening, like the fact that like we cut back to the popcorn after she's been chasing around and
bigger and bigger. It's just
like cartoonishly huge,
cartoonish big, and then it's like you know they always throw like some raunch and stuff in there. So like you know.
I want to see what your insides look like,
you know,
and like, turn
to page 37 or whatever. He was like, oh, okay, all right,
yes.
And then at that time, I think she was dating Prince. So when he had the guy show up, they was like, like messed up in the chair. I was just like,
he's black and he'll kick your ass.
He's like, this guy. So it's just like, I think that was like, I felt like it set the tone for the entire film, like that you knew what you were kind of getting into, but then you kind of didn't, because you was like, if y'all could do this in the beginning scenes, what y'all doing?
Where's this gonna go? If you could bring this much raunch, this much attention to the details of the opening scene of Scream, where are we gonna go from here?
Exactly, and it went amazing. I think one of my other favorite scenes is like, when she's like. Do you want to settle for a PG-13 relationship? She opens her chest and it's like a man's chest.
Jiggly,
hairy chest. I was like, good night, Bobby. I love Erin. She's so good in that role. She's like, good night, Bobby. And she was like, brothers keep putting up comedians. Jim Carrey, you know, Anna Faris.
Yes. And she wasn't even like an actress. I want to say she was like doing like business stuff. Like,
and then,
like in China or something, she was doing some kind of business work, advertising work or something, and like fell into acting. Like somebody told her she would be really funny in this thing, and she like her story's really weird if I remember. And then she's absolutely hilarious in this movie.
End up having her own show on CBS and stuff like that. And supposedly her and Regina Hall supposed to come back for another Scary Movie.
Yeah, with the Wayans involved now, they got the franchise back in their hands. So
I'm gonna go like 1, 2, 7, 8, like whatever they
it's gonna be like the Halloween timeline where you just kind of
you kind of
create your own.
Fine. It all connects eventually. You'll make it work. But I'm excited for that though. I'm excited to see like, because think about it, between the Scary Movie 2, I'm going to
all the horror films and the horror films that have come out since then.
What are they going to do? I'm like, what are you going to do? Because you have to like
know.
really think about it. Because you have to like really think about it because it has to be horror movies or like some type of scary movie in the sense that people know that people have seen enough of
will get
to
the
get the
spoofs. So
reference or get the spoofs. So I'm excited. Like I'm just like, because you know, I need like I low-key wish that they would like spoof the other scary movies
right within this one. Yeah,
I mean,
I wouldn't put it past them to do something like that. And it's like, does this humor still work for people now? You know,
true, because humor
like,
is
how
like,
many parodies have we really gotten? I mean, if we go into something like The Blackening, which I loved, would you consider that a bit of a spoof in terms of
I would
satirizing, like, you know, not only Black tropes but horror tropes with Black people specifically?
Yeah, I would take it as like a new generation of spoof, I guess, if you could like just like write like it as a legacy to maybe what the Wayans have done, because like I feel like the Wayans for the most part have like spoof's been their legacy, you know what I'm saying? Blank Man is essentially a spoof, and like and think about it, like a lot of like they learned from like a lot of like Black exploitation films and things like that. So like I personally think it would still work because it's something that isn't shown a lot.
Yeah, like, and people kind of want to go back to that kind of time. I think, you know, when you think of like the Jennifer Lawrence film No Hard Feelings, that harkened back to those kind of like American Pie kind of gross out, you know, comedies. And people were kind of felt refreshed to kind of see that again in modern times. So I definitely see if anybody can like make the spoof still feel like it felt then and still be funny to today, it's them.
I agree. And I feel like The Blackening is a great continuation of that. So I'm just excited to see like, because I would love like maybe a Jordan Peele spoof film or something like that. I think he would do like a very amazing, but also like I feel like spoofs don't always have to be like horror related, right? It could be like a romantic comedy spoof. I feel like people should like spoof the genres that, you know, the tropes and the genres that we have across the board, because I feel like Scary Movie did it so well that I'm just like, but also it's like if it's dated at the same time, right? As much as I love Scary Movie, it's quite dated. A lot of things would not like
today. Like the Miss Man. I think the Ray character and being so flamboyant and those kinds of things.
Which is kind of like, and I hope this doesn't come off wrong. I'm gonna try to like mind my words as best I can, because I, you know, no disrespect to anybody, which I don't think I'm going to, but like I do miss a time where there was a little bit more freedom in the writing of, because I don't think there's, because like what is it, like Punching Down? I don't think anything in the Scary Movie films were punching down, even with the Miss Man character. Right. So I kind of wish we can get back to like the freedom of writing and just like funny of it, because to me,
understand it is what it is in the context of this film, and not nothing outside of that.
Like outside of like in the real world,
on trans people on a broader spectrum. It's just focused in this film,
right? So I would love, hopefully that writing is present in this new iteration of Scary Movie, what they do, because like there's like a like the Miss Man character. I remember that character because like her scene was funny. Like it was just funny to me. And
it was weird, and it came out of nowhere. And
it's just
what is happening right now?
The uncrossing of the legs, which is very Basic Instinct, which a lot of people wouldn't understand, you know that if they didn't see it or didn't know like was in the era of Basic Instinct. So like, but then to see the balls come out, you don't expect expect that, right? So that's just, I just found that funny. I was just like, that's hilarious, and it's kind of like a trope on like gym teachers for the most part, because I had a gym teacher in high school who loved her to pieces. That was my girl. I ain't gonna shout her name out, but she was one of my favorite teachers, but she was like built a little broader than like most of the teachers up in that building. I'm just she was still feminine. She was still a woman at the end of the day, but she was built like she could probably dunk on you. You know what I'm saying? She could probably check you real good on the field. That's all I'm saying. So like it's just for me, seeing that character, I was just kind of like,
you took it for what it was in the context of the film. And you know, today I think there is a lot more sensitivity, which I think is a good thing to look into. But
Absolutely.
yeah, it's just a kind of a different time, and like even the Doofy character, people might see some type of issue with Doofy.
With that, yeah.
The fact that they like the twist with that, like that also shows me that there was kind of some care put in there, because this twist feels like a legitimate
twist. No, it feels like a twist of like a movie less funny. You know what I mean? Like it feels like this twist shouldn't be in this hilarious film. Like it shouldn't. But I think that's one of the things I remember the most from. I remember the whole film, like call it Saint Spade.
Yeah.
But I remember being like, however old I was in 2000. Like, so what is this? 25? Take away 25 years from my age. However I was 13, I think, in 2000. I remember 13-year-old me being like, it was Doofy, like
right?
It just, like blew my brain.
The little flashbacks of the different moments. Hi, Cindy.
He's like, night, Cindy. Like he just closing the door slowly, like
creepy face.
And I'm just like, and then him, like it's just
the
like
usual suspects
like,
ending, the Kaiser
he pulls off the little like the
and I'm like, he's stupid.
I'm like, dude.
And then he just gets in a car with Gail and like
peels off, and then when Sydney gets hit
in the street,
like she gets hit, I'm like, thank you, because they be in the street, like they be in the street in these movies, like
very much. What are you waiting for?
What are you waiting for? But she ended up doing that before, and the guy jumped from the room. What am I waiting for?
He just jumps from the room because he's like.
She was like,
oh, yes.
Oh I was like, oh, Anna Faris, you're so cute. You're so precious. But no, I love this film. I think I just think it just hit so many beats. Like even with Bobby being like a trailer park kid,
yeah. Like why is he always late? He literally lives like right.
He lives on the school grounds. Like he should never be late. So like having him, we like kind of like having him having like the stereotypical like. You know,
because like sleep with his girlfriend,
trying to sleep with his girlfriend, but he comes from like a lesser like family, because that was how it was. His name Billy was with her, so it was just like I was just like, they take everything and kind of like strip it down to its like parts, and then they kind of like build it back up slowly with like little funny,
with the little kind of flares of jokes and
because like if you go to Scary Movie, how aggressive he was in there, but then but Bobby is like, hey man, don't do that, don't you're choking her, Greg. Like so like docile.
He's barely trying, and even the corn syrup, like
oh yeah
things letting Carrie ketchup. Same thing my mom puts in my spaghetti.
It's like he's like, but wait, there's more.
He's like spitting all over the place.
I'll be back. And even, I'm sorry, but I love the way they die.
Yes.
He was like, but you made love to me, like,
and that's also playing on the consistent like theory that Billy and Stu were totally in love with each other. Yes.
Exactly. Because honestly, I can see a thing where like Stu is in love with Billy and he used that to his advantage.
Yeah.
Like it's just something about it. It's just like I can see that being the thing, because like that's exactly what Scary Movie did. That he used him to his advantage. He was like, I like good music.
Yes, exactly.
They still, what you mean?
What are you talking about?
So what you talking about? Like he was so, and then it's like
I think football gear on Brenda.
Oh he's like, come at me, Brandon. I mean, Brandon. He's like, yeah, take it, Brandon. Because I love, to me, that's a really great scene, because like Regina Hall is so great. She just plays that scene so good.
Oh wow!
It starts so good. It starts with her being like, "Oh, okay." Then her being like,
dressed up.
Oh, okay,
he's kinky. Yeah.
Okay. You want me to charge it? Like her excitement just slowly died.
Because she realizes what is actually happening.
I was like, this is great.
Yeah,
I was like, great.
All of her scenes are great. Like even when all the shit she's talking about Buffy, and then as soon as Buffy walks up,
hey girl, hey baby girl. Like I love Regina Hall so much, because she was just like, she is as fake as press on nails. Hey baby girl.
The scene in the car when like both couples are in the back making out, he takes her panties off and they're like, John, she's like, it's laundry day. Like, how is it real? I felt personally attacked by that.
Listen, as a woman, okay, with a bigger backside.
Yeah.
All right. We all can't wear the pretty little
tiny,
underwear.
cute, little
Sometimes
cheekies.
we need full coverage.
Yes.
It can't always be sexy time. It just cannot. I'm saying this for all the guys.
Yes,
it can't always be
sexy who can
time,
always be wearing the thong.
Oh, so okay, so can't do it, won't do it. But also, don't put me on blast with my granny panties, okay? Because they have saved lives, okay?
Yeah,
saved lives. But no, that was. But I just honestly, I would love like a Shorty film,
a Shorty spinoff. Yeah,
like a Shorty spinoff, or just where was he in the context of the first Scary Movie? We got way more of him in the second movie, which I was like, thank you for that. But
then he didn't get rolled up and smoked as a joint.
Yeah,
by like a crazy monstrous weed plant.
But then he ended up getting high himself while he was getting smoked. So like, I think they capitalized on the fact that like Shorty was a fan favorite, so they brought like in the second one they kind of like lifted up his scenes a little bit more.
Yes.
But they didn't do it in a way that they were like, okay, we know that Cindy is the lead. You kind of snatched the lead, but it was still just enough that it added more to the second one. But I would love to have seen like where Shorty was like in the context of the first film, because we only see him.
He just popped in here and there.
In. So I would love to be like, okay, so where was he? You know,
when this was happening, when that was happening,
after they went to go drop the dude in the, because he pulls up in the car like, y'all.
Yes, and even after, I think he's with all the whole "What's Up" scene, and like
like
he's smoking with him and his friends, and they're prank calling people, and then he does that rap and kills all the people. I don't think we kind of move on from like.
So I'm just like, and then like, then Shorty ended up getting shot. He's like, oh shit, son. And then he started smoking out of his lung. He's like, all that's what it did to me. Again, good attention to detail, because for somebody that smokes as much as Shorty, I bet he got something.
He got smoke in his lungs reserves.
You feel me? Just if him having a hard time, all he got to do is just like maybe cut himself or something. Right? He can't be good. But I just, it's just like small attention details like that. And honestly, I like the door. The door thing too. With Cindy's door is just like the door.
Yes.
Off of Scream, and I was like, that's
okay.
I like that.
They were looking at things to like really have fans kind of pick this and that, and even kind of sets looking the same.
I always wanted a door like that though.
Right. Like well, Kevin Williams said like his door was really like that, so that's why he incorporated that into the film.
Oh, that's cool.
So
I like
they
that.
actually they couldn't find a house that had that, so they had to like build that themselves.
Right. That makes sense. I would I would be nuts and be like, I kind of want that in my room. Somebody build that in my room. Like, I like the door because I feel like it's a great deterrent. If anything, because you never know if anything might happen. Like
exactly. Exactly. You got a window. You could just go out the window. Yeah.
Yeah. I like that. Oh man.
Yes, but I mean, even you say like a Shorty spinoff, but Shorty and Brenda, I mean, they're brother and sister. So that would be kind of a fun thing. Like, I love the scene when he's like, your mom's a bitch. Your mom is my mom. And then, well, then your dad's a bitch. I don't know him.
I don't know him. He's like, shit, me neither. It was like, all right, like he's just
and then he just move on.
He just moves on. Or like when Brenda's like, girl, they gonna find the dumbest one they can find. He's like, oh, I'm on TV, son. Like, I'm on TV.
Those quick cuts, those are
so good. Are so good. Like and honestly, I won't say that they specifically got this from them, but I'm gonna say they did. Okay, I'm gonna say they did. But Brooklyn Nine-Nine does quick cuts like that, and I can't help but think that, and I'm not saying that the Wayans were like the first ones to do quick cuts to comedy, like I'm not saying
like the setups to jump to,
right, to jump to, but again, a lot of the things that they brought to Scary Movie kind of got like people kind of didn't do anymore, like you know what I mean, they kind of just people kind of left by the wayside because they were like, we need more dynamic and big things and and Scary Movie kind of was like, we can do that, but we can be silly and kind of like bring it, kind of ground the silly
and do some smart things in terms of these transitions.
Exactly,
it'll make it even funnier.
Comedy, and I feel like the top of my head, Brooklyn Nine-Nine does that a lot. Brooklyn Nine-Nine does the cuts. especially like their opening scenes are all like quick cut jokes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like every opening scene from Brooklyn Nine-Nine from season 1 to season 7 is like a scene joke cut to the credits.
Yeah, and isn't it like something that doesn't really get called back to? It's kind of just like a one-er little
it's
situation.
A one-er,
yeah,
like little thing, and it's cut, and you're to the credits, and then now you're to the like the opening, and then now you're to the
to the show. And to the actual episode of what's happening.
So I feel like there was a bit of influence in there from Scary Movie, from the Wayans, whether it's said or not, you know.
I definitely could see that, because when you're working in a spoof and you're kind of, you know, picking these different things, you're not really sticking to any pure story structure. Yeah. You know, you have your characters, you establish them, you establish kind of this through line thing, but then you're kind of jumping to random things that maybe you don't go back to. It's purely there for the spoof moment. So yeah, I definitely could see, you know, a one-off kind of bumper being something that other things would be inspired to do.
Yeah. But which I think is cool, because like I like little jokes like that. I like we can do a quick little joke and move on and be done. And I'm kind of here for it. I'm kind of here for it. So I'm just like, I guess I'm just like on pins and needles. I'm just like waiting for like any type of information on the new Scary Movie. Like I know, because like I said, what movies would you want to see? What movies could you even think would work? Can you name like 3 movies
that have come out in the last
20
years?
You know what I'm saying? 20 years, like that, like just 3. Just they don't have to be in a certain order, like that you felt like they could possibly take to kind of.
Well, I think they would definitely still stick with the new Scream films and probably make fun of the fact that, you know, they're trying to do some legacy sequel thing. So they might try to play into some corny, like, spoofing of legacy sequels.
Okay.
Okay. Like, what else is like a big horror movie that people really knew that like made an impact?
I feel like they could do something with Hereditary.
Oh my gosh, that is definitely any like Ari Aster kind of stuff.
Yeah, like, I Hereditary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yes, Jordan Peele stuff as well. Yeah.
Maybe what is it? I just been missing all the comments. Sorry, y'all. I'm not like a weird person that doesn't respond back to stuff. I just
we're just like so wrapped up. Yes, Emma says.
Yeah.
Emma says The Purge, Sinister.
Sinister,
and I mean The Purge ends up kind of being rooted in a lot of Black culture as well, because of those dynamics and like when we kind of learn the purpose of the Purge in the first place, it's definitely to get rid of marginalized groups and that whole kind of thing. So I definitely think there could be some interesting things with them.
Oh, absolutely. It's like interesting dialogue, interesting moments with that one. As we talked about like the Oscars and stuff like that, I mean, they could possibly do something with The Substance.
Yeah.
You know, I can see
if they haven't started writing it yet, they definitely could.
They definitely could.
Yeah.
Which I feel like rewrites happen all the time. So even if they did, come on, throw something in there. Maybe bring Demi Moore on there, because I feel like Demi Moore is, or Demi, I believe it's Demi, if I'm not mistaken. Because it's like Demi Lovato is Demi Moore. So just like where my brain
Demi, is it Demi or Demi?
Or Demi. You know what I'm saying? Which fancy are we going? But I think she's funny. I think she can like hold her own in like comedy. Because she was funny, even though it was like serious, she was funny in Charlie's Angels.
Full Throttle. Yeah, she was a very cartoonish villain.
She was, and I loved every bit of it. Yeah. And after that too, you didn't see her for like ages. So when she came back, you were like, that's G.I. Jane?
Right?
Oh my god.
Yes, she was in her like 40s in that bikini, and I'm just like, man.
And I'm almost 40, and bikinis ain't happening over here.
No. We ain't wearing no bikinis. It's laundry day over here.
You will be. Listen, we got a nice little like shawl on.
Yes, we got the old granny nightgown.
Not doing none of that. Shout out to her though.
Got the moon.
And she still looks beautiful, because like she was irking me in the Substance. I'm like, girl, don't let these people. You still beautiful.
You still look good. Yes,
you look better than most 20-year-olds.
You don't need that. You don't need it. Yeah.
Come on, no bathing suit unless it's control top. Come on. You know what it is.
Right?
We gotta keep it secure up here.
Right?
Gotta keep it secure. Secure tops, man. Honestly, if they did a Talk to Me parody,
yeah,
I think Talk to Me
that was pretty popular. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see them doing a Talk to Me
instead
parody.
of a hand, they make it some like funky foot or something.
Yeah, yeah, or like I don't know how raunchy they.
Or it's like the hand is like making a constant like middle finger or something.
Yeah. Is this like, or it's just like a type of hand where it's open?
Yeah, like a Black Power fist or something
like that, and then you gotta like touch it, like, or you gotta like fist bump
dap it.
You gotta tap it. I'm here. Listen, we kind of Wayne's family. If you come across the Littleton podcast, we got some ideas for you. Honestly, Quiet Place.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Ah, yeah.
I mean, old, yes.
Old, yeah. Oh, Terrifier, yes.
Oh my gosh, yes. You guys are on it. Yeah,
knocking this out because that'll be a good little. I liked Old. Shout out to M. Night, but I liked Old. I thought Old was great. M. Night be in his bag when he be in his bag. I will say that. When he don't overthink things.
I completely forget that's Aaron Pierre. I'm like, I've never heard of Aaron Pierre at all. And then I'm like, oh yeah, he was in Old. That was
him.
Oh my god.
And I didn't remember it all, and I still don't. Like I still don't. I like he wasn't in that film. He wasn't in there. He wasn't in that film. But also, that was a weird time in my life. I went to see that film with somebody that I probably shouldn't have went to go see that film with.
Okay.
And so I gotta rewatch that movie.
Justine is Josh Hartnett in Trap, swoon-worthy. I mean, the fact that they just okay, well, they throw a shirtless scene in there just for no particular reason. So yes, please partake.
Betty Hartnett,
yes, go into that movie looking at it as just like a fun 90s feeling thriller and not a horror movie. And I think you'll enjoy it a lot more because I looked at it as like a kind of campy thriller, and I found myself enjoying it because I liked the premise. I think the premise is really cool, and the film doesn't wholly live up to the premise, but just the nostalgia of seeing Josh Hartnett again, I think he does a great job, and kind of going into it with a mindset of this isn't a horror movie, this is kind of just a campy, cheesy thriller. I was able to kind of enjoy it a lot.
Enjoy it, yeah, because it's like I feel like a lot of our like 90s heartthrobs are like, I think I took a good break.
Yes, and
I want to come back and I want to do something that's not, because he could have easily come back and be like, I'm in this leading man role as a lover of this person, and it's just
exactly I've gone back to being the rom-com boy,
right? Yeah. And he was like, let me branch out and do something different. And sometimes you kind of find your niche when you do stuff like that. You kind of find
but he was a horror boy too. He did The Faculty. So
shout out to The Faculty.
Yes,
honestly, they could pull from some old stuff. Pull from The Faculty.
I mean, Kevin Williamson wrote The Faculty. So
pull from The Faculty.
Yeah.
Not we know these ladies. Shout out to The Real City. If y'all want more talk, shout out to The Real City. Hey, baby girl. That's how I'm greeting them from now on. Now, well, good time to plug your practice. Very true. Me and Janine both are on a podcast called The Real Study. REEL, like a film reel. We talk about movies every Sunday, 4 p.m. PST. 7 p.m. EST. We just talk about, we have our little topics and things like that of the films that we discuss.
Yeah, we'll do maybe like a themed double feature.
Yeah, and the theme sometimes be just ironically themed. Like we don't
we don't plan it all the time. Yeah,
we don't plan the themes all the time, and somehow they just. And it could be like one person picked one movie, another person picked another movie,
and they kind of just work. They work together. We find a bridge. Yes,
it's a real good time. Time is a good time. because I think what are we watching next week? This week is the Oscars, so me, yes. Janine, and our host, Mr. Snippets, will be doing like a live Oscar watch so y'all party, can Oscar watch party, so y'all can join us for that tomorrow. Yeah. The following week is Mel Brooks week, I believe. So it's Young Frankenstein and Spaceballs,
which are both first time watches for Law, and Young Frankenstein is the first time watch for me. So
I ain't never seen either one of them, even though I've heard of Spaceballs, and I'm like, people like that stuff. Cool.
It's spoof, right? Girl.
We talk about spoofs, baby.
Star Wars spoof to the
So, but I think I'm at a point now that if you let Mr. Snippets tell you, I'm at a point now that I think I might get all the references in Spaceballs now because
yes. I mean, brush up on the original trilogies, and you'll be right in there with everything.
Oh, I watch people watch those all the time, so I'm good. Okay. I'm ready to go. Okay. They cemented Star Wars is cemented in here. Even if I didn't want it to, it's up in there.
Yes.
But I'm excited.
Is it Nosferatu? It gets Nosferatu. Yeah.
Nosferatu. Yeah. The old school and the new school, which I've seen the new school already, haven't seen the old school, and so I'm excited to see the silent film. Yeah. That's another thing too. Silent films, maybe they can do something with like a silent moment
where it just kind of goes black and white and like
but maybe it's the Quiet Place spoof. It's where it's like it gets quiet and it's like
old timey.
Maybe like they mix it together. I'm just saying.
I mean, that could be fun. Yeah,
Werner Herzog version. Why does that name sound familiar? Werner Herzog.
Yeah.
Why do I know that? Somebody tell me why I know that. So we're seeing these backgrounds with a different pod. Oh, film director. That's right.
Yeah.
I was like, why is my brain like slowly disappointing me? I'm like, I know that name. I'm like, I know that name. What else can be said about Scary Movie though?
I mean,
that's the real question.
Yeah, I think we kind of touched on all of the major elements. Yeah, just really fun. I love the twist ending, the kind of the big kind of finale reveal, and the big Cindy versus Ghostface fight scene. Of course, this is where we're getting into non-horror references with the Matrix, because every movie was doing the Matrix, and then his like back gets
stuck, and then he has to like hit the chair on the side, and like he had to hit that chair. I think that's when she goes, you're behind the couch, like see the way her
wait, hold on, and then he's like behind the curtain.
Close your eyes. Close your eyes. She's like
in all these stupid
places. She's like, yes, Mr. Killer. She's like trying to sneak past him. She's like, hi, baby. Oh, baby. Just throwing grandma down the stairs.
Because it's Scream 2, and Sarah Michelle Gellar is literally just throwing all kinds of stuff down the stairs. A bicycle. It throws grandma.
Piano. It's when he turns around and he just
he's running away.
It's very like cartoon Hanna-Barbera. Like
yes. Yeah, and I mean, it gave us all those kind of different designs of the Ghostface mask, because I think you see like the kind of tweaked out one and like the smiling one, and yes, the one with the tongue sticking out.
Honestly, I would love one of those masks.
Right?
I think I would like the What's Up one because it's just so like it's crazy,
so exaggerated.
Yeah, I think I like that, but also like that they did that, right? Like they switched up. Yeah, the baked masks. Like it's like they switched up like it's just switching up the mask made it feel like the mask in a way.
Right?
Like they were pulling from that a little bit.
Expressive. Yeah.
Which kind of makes sense. Jim Carrey, that's a long-time friend. Like it would just make kind of sense that they were like
that they were just like
sprinkled a little bit. It's just a little sprinkle. It doesn't have to 100%
an obvious thing. Yeah.
Just a little sprinkle.
Yeah.
I used to love the Budweiser's commercials when they used to be like, "Waza." Yeah,
very of its time, because people watch that movie now, they will have no concept of that reference at all.
I've watched a lot of reactors react to Scary Movie, and a lot of these people were born in 2000, so it's one of those things where I was like,
they're like, what?
Where like some of them are like more into like culture where they're like, oh, okay, yeah, that I get that. That makes
gone and seen old commercials.
I'm going to see old commercials or old movies. I know what they're referencing, but then there was a nice chunk in there that they were like, I don't know what that is.
What this is.
I don't know what this is. And
like,
so
they would have Usual Suspects or
no. Yeah. Unless they do, but it's very rare. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like it's very rare. Because shoot, even at that time, I didn't. You know what I mean? At the time when it first came out, I didn't until I did.
Yeah.
Best spoof, not horror. What you mean? What you mean the real study? What you mean?
Asking us what we think is the best spoof that's not a horror spoof.
Oh, that's what I'm kind of thinking. I just wanted to make sure. Best spoof that's not a horror. That's a solid question.
I know, to think about that. Well, maybe it'll be Spaceballs once we watch it.
I know, maybe it will be. Maybe it will be.
What I love about Spinal Tap is that like actual musicians are like say that's so real. Like for them, Spinal Tap is so difficult for them to watch because even though it's a spoof, it's very true to life for them. Yeah.
I can see that being interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would say best, but I mean Scary Movie might be one of the most recognizable spoofs. Maybe like Austin Powers. Because that's kind of spoofy. You know,
yes, of like all the older Bond films. Yes.
So yeah, I would probably have to go between Austin Powers and Scary Movie because even Scary Movie in a sense it's kind of thriller-y, but Austin Powers might have to take the cake as like a best spoof that's not a horror because there was nothing horror about Austin Powers. Right. But it was a great spoof, or maybe Tropic Thunder.
But yeah, I mean, even after kind of seeing the older Bond films and seeing how heavily those were spoofed, like it made me love Austin Powers even more.
Yeah, I love.
They took a lot. They took a lot from that. I mean, Pussy Galore and a lot of vagina.
Listen, no, because those names are crazy. No, okay. The real study kid,
Mr. Bigglesworth.
I'm Very Badly Burned is one of my favorite scenes of Austin Powers.
You can still hear him.
Like he's like, I'm not dead. I'm very badly burned, and that's a moment where I actually liked Will Ferrell as a character in the film because he's not my favorite, but I found him funny in that scene.
Oh yes,
like, I'm very badly burned.
Yes,
because it's his cadence.
Right? I mean,
not has a funny cadence.
Yes, Odd Job and Random Task.
Oh, now I gotta go rewatch Austin Powers.
Yes, and that actor, like, who gets run over, like the fact that like he was killed, like the joke that he was killed by two versions of Mike Myers.
Yeah, I definitely gotta rewatch.
Watch Austin Powers, that first one.
Especially. Oh my God, Emma! Yes, Seth Green is just.
Yes.
Yeah,
it's cutie patootie.
It's Seth Green. Like he's just. I don't think there's a time where I have seen Seth Green where I was just like, he's just the cutest little thing.
He's so cute. Yeah.
And then for him to kind of be like a nerd's nerd, you know what I mean? Like that just makes him even cuter. And like, did you see? Like, I don't remember the name of the thing of the podcast, but like, he does like he reads lines as Chris from Family Guy. He reads lines. With the guy that does like Pinky and the Brain. Like I know
who you're talking about. Yeah.
But he does like Pinky's
does the Animaniacs, yeah.
Yeah. So it's a if I find it, I'm gonna put it in the chat. Yeah. So people can see it. But it's Seth Green and it's him. And they're reading lines from Star Wars, but one is Pinky and one is Chris from Family Guy. And it's like the line, I think it's the line where it might be the scene between Anakin and Obi-Wan where they're like, he's like, but you were the chosen one, like that scene.
Yeah,
I think it's that scene. and the opening, like the guy who voices Pinky, like the opening, he does the opening of it, and then the moment Seth Green asks Chris, says like, you wanted me to, like the way he starts talking like Chris, the other guy breaks so hard, cracks up laughing so hard. It's like the funniest thing,
because he's like deep, serious lines.
He's like deep, serious lines, and
in that voice, in that ridiculous, nasally.
I was like, God. hilarious. But
Oh
I
my
gotta
God.
find it before it's over so I can put it in the chat so everybody can see it because it's hilarious. So let me
Yes.
just
Oh
find
my
it.
God. Yeah. No, Seth Green was a cutie patootie. I think Can't Hardly Wait
And I
was.
found it immediately. So all right, let me hop into the chat so everybody can go see that.
Okay.
There we go. It's in the chat now. Good old Oz from Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yes, which I watched for the first time, like 2 years ago. So yeah, I don't know why I didn't watch it when it was on.
Like
I
the
still,
TV show?
yes, I watched the movie. I remember I'm old enough to have seen the movie in
Mhm.
theaters. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Did you watch all of it, like all seasons of Buffy?
Yes.
What's your take? What did you think?
I loved it. That's why I'm like, why did I not?
Some stuff
Why
just
did I not?
miss you. You know, some stuff
Yes,
just
but I was on the damn WB with Dawson's Creek. I was watching Roswell. Like I was there.
yeah, but you didn't have. But that was a lot though. As a person, but here's the thing: though, I watched it all. Like I watched Roswell, Dawson's Creek, Charmed, Buffy
I
the
watched
Vampire
Charmed.
Slayer.
Yeah, like
I watched all of them.
yeah.
But yes, actually, you know, rip Dawn, rip Michelle
Yes,
Trachtenberg.
Michelle Trachtenberg. Yeah.
No, for sure. But sometimes I think like certain shows just kind of you be like, I'll get to it because you be having so much to watch.
Yeah, there's so much. And then Angel started kind of while Buffy was still going.
Like, so it's like then you have to like, and so it's just like, that's another one. So like I was out here doing the work of the Lord, just watching all shows,
all these things. Yeah.
watching spin-offs of spin-offs and
yeah,
all kind of stuff. Just like but my plan is to get like the comics.
Oh yeah.
Comics, yeah. Because I've read them in different ways. Oh, but Emma, you liked my Chris Griffin. I'm working on my Chris Griffin. I'm trying to do more male like cartoon characters, voices. But yeah, thank you. I'm working on that. I'm working on my Chris Griffin. But I want to get all the comics because like I know what happens in some of them, but I don't know like the through line of them, right? So like same thing with Charmed. I need the Charm comics too because you know, Prue comes back and all.
So they give you kind of like these in between things that you didn't get to see, and
so
fill out storylines that they didn't really delve into.
So because Charmed ends season 8, and then we should review the comics together. Like, yeah, no, okay, sorry. Yeah, Mr. Simmons. But like after Charmed ends with season 8, they have 9, 10, and 11. Comics like seasons, they call them seasons, but they're comics. And it continues with like, you know, what all of them, and then like Prue eventually kind of comes back in a very weird way because she's technically still connected to the Charm legacy even though she's dead. So it's like her still being connected to them is weakening the power of 3. Like they're supposed to be even stronger, but Prue's weakening it by latching onto them. So it's like it's a very interesting.
I was like, that's what I mean. I love that comics can kind of fill out these gaps that like the show didn't get into, and you can still see the same characters because obviously the actors age out or the show ended or whatever. So the fact that you could kind of still continue the stories in that way, I think is really cool.
Yeah, like Emma said, that like so many things from childhood continue through comics, and that's like absolutely correct. Like so many things just how much of the trivia competitions you did have 90s references or questions?
That was a category, I believe. It was 90s movies. Yeah, because like there were a plethora of categories, and so you could like study an actor, you could study a decade, you could study movie release dates. Like there were different categories that you could.
That's cool.
So it was pretty broad. Like when the show started, like it was very broad, and then people kind of learn the trick that like and like when you go into the second round, you pick 2 categories that you want to put on the wheel. So then you spin a wheel and you get a category. So you'll study like those 2 specific categories and put them on the wheel and hope that you get one of them. So people started studying. Like before, people didn't study; they just went in with the knowledge that they had. But now then people kind of actually started studying, and that's when it got really kind of competitive and crazy. So I do believe 90s, like different decades, were specific categories.
That's cool. I would love to play more trivia based. I love trivia games. Like I went to here in Detroit, they had like at a bar, they had like Friends trivia, and I was like,
Yeah.
Friends. Sign me up, baby. Like,
yeah,
I'm all over that. So, like, I want to find more like trivia, like places I can go play trivia.
Yeah.
Like, even if I do it online and stuff like that, I just think
Yeah.
trivia games are like a lot of fun. So.
Yes, no, I loved doing the Schmoedown because I love that kind of thing. I always love, you know, I would always, when I started buying movies, like when I first started getting my own money, I would literally kind of make sure I picked the Blu-ray or the DVD that had the best special features because I wanted to know everything about a movie.
All the behind-the-scenes
I would
stuff,
finish watching a movie and then go to the IMDb and read all the trivia because I wanted to know all the little tidbits about it.
Especially if it's a film that I love or a show that I love. I'm like, I need all the stuff.
Yeah,
I need all the stuff. But yeah, where can we follow you, Janine?
You can find me at Janine Debeen, all places on Instagram, Blue Sky. My Facebook got hacked, so I had to make a new one so that my family, and all those people could follow me. So if you follow me on Facebook, there's a new Facebook that you can follow me on. And then I am a co-host on The Real Study, as we mentioned. So you can find that at The Real Study on YouTube and Twitch. And I have the It's a Wonderful podcast feed. We have 2 shows over there Morgan Hasn't Seen and It's a Wonderful Podcast, where we talk classic films, and our Morgan Hasn't Seen, where I make my co-host Morgan watch things he hasn't seen. So you can find It's a Wonderful Podcast all places podcasts can be found, and we also have the It's a Wonderful Podcast YouTube channel.
Awesome. You can find me at Black Girl Marvel on everything. And if there's some things I don't have that you say you think I should need, just let me know. As Janine said, we are both co-hosts of The Real Study. So you can follow us over there too. I also have my own podcast. It's just called Black Girl Marvel's Multiverse. It's on YouTube. I also have a more, I don't know what a verbal podcast. Like it's not aired in the sense of like you see me, but I have a podcast on Anchor called Black Girl Marvel's like Multiverse or something like that. But it is on Anchor if you put in Black Girl Marvel. Actually, it's a lot of podcast things. I'm thinking about getting that back started, where it's kind of just me talking about movies. It's like
our 2 shows are only audio. Audio.
Yeah, so just an audio podcast. Yeah, because my brain wasn't there. I was like, it's just words, and I'm talking.
Yeah, no, both of our shows are audio only. So
then Janine comes in real smooth, like audio podcast. Like, yes, help me out. Thank you so much.
Words be hard.
Words be hard, and they do because I use them all the time. But you can follow me on Instagram and Blue Sky, and I'm still on Twitter as well, but you can follow me on all. I'm kind of barely on there, but I'm still kind of on there.
I'm Janine Debeen _ because that also got hacked.
Girl, you so popular. Why you still get hacked? Girl, you out here? Oh yeah, you can follow us both on all social media and join us in. But this is pretty a pretty awesome day.
Yes, thank you. Let us in for letting us crash the party.
Thanks for having us.
And take over your show.
I'll take over anytime. You know?
Yes.
Yeah, this is nice. So thanks for having us, everybody.
Yes.